is an important topic to talk about. We're talking about diet. So what exactly is diet culture?
Well, so much of it is in the language, even in that intro, off the wagon, meaning that we're doing something wrong that we're not supposed to do. Eating better, meaning there's a right and a wrong way. So diet culture are the societal expectations that have always been there, that have told us that there's one way we should look, one way we should eat, and that if we do this and we adhere to it, that we're going to be better. And so we've created a society that's really fat phobic, and there are all sorts of programs around that are all about weight loss and restriction and rigidity. And this is all, even though 95% of diets fail and 1 in 4 dieters will go on to have a full-blown eating disorder, which is a deadly mental illness, it's so ingrained in our culture.
So this has caused us to have an abnormal relationship with food.
Many of us, it's become so complicated, the relationship with food and with our bodies and with movement and exercise. So many of us that it's made the diet industry a multi-billion-dollar industry because we've learned to assign morality to food. We've learned to feel shame and guilt. We've moved away from trusting our bodies towards adhering to these messages and then using food to cope with discomfort or gain control. And we're not saying that it should be a free for all or that some people don't have certain health considerations. Of course, we're saying that you can't someone's health status based on what they look like, and that we don't need to jump into these dangerous and unhealthy diets to try to be better.
So does changing our view of food help our overall person?
I believe it does, simply because of settling into food freedom and peace with our bodies and with food, because then we move toward knowing that our worth has nothing to do with our weight, size, and shape, that there's no one way to look, that we're all created uniquely. And we then are kinder to ourselves and to others, and we get to enjoy food for what it is. You know, at its simplest, food is fuel, but it's also very pleasurable, and it's connection, and it's celebration. And so we learn to trust our bodies and ourselves and to eat intuitively and to let go of some of those messages.
That sounds like so much freedom, what you just articulated. So what should we know moving forward?
Yeah. Well, I want to, reiterate that it's simple, but it's not easy, because it's been so ingrained and we're constantly receiving that messaging. So we need to practice unlearning it and constantly checking ourselves and challenging those messages we're receiving, whether it's in the language we use or the language we hear, our biases and our habits. And we have several therapists at our office and a dietitian that work with a lot of people on their relationship with food and with their bodies and movement. And so there is a way out of being able to peel away those layers and get back to the basics.
So where can we get more information, and particularly where can we find you?
Yep. So we're at Sun Counseling and Wellness, and my Instagram is Yep, I Go to Therapy.
Yep, I Go to Therapy. Thank you very, very much, Juliet.
Thanks for having me.